Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alaracanfieldshow, the Awakened Happiness Now global series. Thank you so much for being with us, being here with us today. And my dear friend, Laura Bolton, is back with us today. And we're going to be talking about connecting with the wonder of the moon. We're going to dive deep into the astrology of the moon. Some of what we're going to discuss includes the characteristics of moon energy, the astrology of the full and new moon, the profound importance of your moon sign, the interaction with the moon and other planets in your chart. And there's going to be an opportunity for Q&A for those who are here live with us right now, especially those who have already sent in their information to Laura via email. So we'll see what happens with that. For those of you who don't know, Laura, like I said, she was on our show many times already so far this year, and I think late last year as well. She is a gifted healer and passionate about astrology. Her exceptional analytical skills paired with powerful intuition to connect you to the planets and the stars. She is masterful in translating the wonder of astrology into the comfort, support, and guidance you need on your awakening journey. So all that and more. We're excited. There's a lot that we're going to talk about today. We will be taking live caller questions. Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm excited. So, and I know there's always so much to discuss, so much to talk about, Laura. So we're going to try and keep it a little bit concise because there's so much information that you can share. So let's get started. And everybody, please join me in welcoming Laura back to the show. And if I get frozen, please let me know because the internet seems a little wonky today for some reason. So Laura, welcome. Are you there?
I'm there, yeah. Did you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, are you there?
Yes.
So welcome back. And we're going to be talking about the wonder of the moon and diving deep into the astrology of the moon. So let's talk about, first of all, the moon energy. Isn't it we're in that right now, the new moon right now?
The new moon, I'm talking about the new moon later. I've got the chart for the new moon. That's in a couple of days' time. I think it's on Monday.
Okay.
And there's a new moon
close.
every
We're
month.
getting there.
So yeah, I mean, yeah. If it's 3 days away, if there's a new moon and a full moon every 2 weeks. So I try not to sort of start thinking about it too soon. Otherwise it's a new moon or full moon all the time.
That's true. Yeah. so let's talk about the moon and the moon's energies and my goodness, how they can affect us.
Yeah, so I wanted to sort of go really to basics with the moon. What the moon's associated with in astrology. Firstly, I wanted to make the sort of basic distinction with astrology. We talk about there's kind of two separate ways that we talk about astrology. There's the astrology of the now, and there's the astrology that was going on when you were born, which sort of then pertains to your personality, and then there's the combination of them. But I think it's useful to sort of have those two distinctions. The moon, or which I will sort of mention as we're going through, but I'm going to start more with like the astrological weather. But the moon broadly is associated in astrology with emotions, and which is something that makes us distinct from other planets, because we have this moon that's specific to Earth. It's related to water, in that it, how like the power of the moon actually moves, the oceans, the tides, the gravitational pull of the moon. So really broadly, like water, emotions, and another key thing that's associated with the moon in astrology is like the mother and nurturing energy. So I think that's like the key words there, like emotions, water, mother, and nurturing, and how that shows up collectively and in the birth chart separately. So the moon moves quickly. So if we understand that the moon is affecting emotions, this helps us to understand how like emotions can be mood swings can be sort of quick. We can start the day feeling one way and end the day feeling another way, because you know, where the moon is moving. The moon moves, it does a whole cycle of the it does a whole cycle around the earth, whole cycle around the zodiac in a month. And that's actually the key of like where the word month comes from, is because it's a moon cycle. The word month is actually the Proto-Germanic name for moon. So that also suggests, you know, that also tells us how kind of profound the moon is sort of historically. And you know, it's used to measure time, you know, the sun being a year, moon being a month. So it was obviously, you know, it's been something that we've always tuned into, like as a society, as a culture. So I wanted to show in the chart where the moon is like now. So can I share?
Yep, go ahead.
My share screen. Here we go. Is that it? Yes. Let's just refresh. Okay. Sorry. So there we go. The moon down here, you can see my pointer. The moon's in Libra. So this is what this is like a basic chart. I'm not sure sort of where people are coming from and in their sort of understanding of astrology. I've pulled this up on astro.com. The moon's in Libra here now, and like I was saying, it takes a month to go all the way around, which is fast compared to, say, yeah, the sun takes a year, different planets that move at different times. It's in 25 degrees of Libra. And moving this way, you can see that the moon is coming to join up with this planet here, which is Venus. And when the moon joins Venus, that's normally like a pleasant time. Venus being sort of love and beauty and relationships, and you know, the moon with its sort of watery, emotional, nurturing energy. So this joining up, this happens once a month. Obviously, it joins up with everything once a month. This one's a particularly nice one, and so the moon moves like a degree every couple of hours roughly. So we're talking kind of maybe 8 hours or something until like this is exact. But yeah, we tend to feel that sort of a few hours before and after. So that's a nice thing to note about the moon at the moment, how it's moving, where it's moving towards. And then I've got the new moon. So the new moon is a conjunction with the moon and the sun. So the sun and the moon line up together. That's why we can only see a little sliver of it. And we have the sun in Sagittarius at the moment, in Sagittarius season. So this new moon is represented on the chart here with the sun and moon together. They're going to be in 20 degrees of Sagittarius, which is the exact same degree as my rising sign. And you can see in the table here, 2020. So yeah, that's the new moon. Is every month the moon goes all the way around and joins up with the sun. So next month the new moon will be in Capricorn. Next month, the following month will be in Aquarius. That's why we have a new moon in each sign as we go through the year. And then I can just move this. I can show you the full moon. The full moon is an opposition here. See, sun is here. This will be on the 27th of December. The full moon, so the sun will have moved into Capricorn, and then the moon is opposite. So the new moon tends to be an easier, this conjunction with the sun and the moon when they're joining up tends to be a slightly easier energy than when they're in opposition. We're going to have the moon in Cancer when it's is opposing the sun in Capricorn, 4 degrees. Does anyone have any questions so far? Because I'm trying to sort of keep it simple. I know astrology can tip into Obviously there's a lot of other different things that I'm not talking about that you can see in the chart, but
yeah, so so stop sharing for now so we can see if
sure.
anybody has any questions.
Yeah.
And so we're asking about if you have questions about these charts or about the new moon, the full moon,
anything I've
etc.
said so far that's not
Yeah,
clear,
we're not talking about readings per se at this point, right?
No.
So if you have a question, let us know. You can raise your hand or you can type your question in the chat. And for those of you who already have your hands raised, you want to just lower them. So that way we know whether you have a question right now or you just want a reading later. Okay. But so far straightforward. For me, that was helpful. Actually seeing it on the chart, it really made it clearer for me. So
yeah, I mean, I was going to actually start with a little bit about how I got into astrology, but sort of dive straight in. But I was sort of interested in moon cycles for a long time, and it was relatively recently that I realized the astrology of the full new moon, that it was like this it was this relationship with the sun. It's this conjunction and opposition with the sun, and it was like, wow, that makes so much sense. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, moon cycles was the first sort of astrological thing that I was into, and it was that for quite a while, and then it kind of grew from there. So I think it's a nice starting point. I think it's something that everyone's kind of interested in, even if they don't think they're interested in astrology, which they are.
and so like, what about our own moon sign? Why is that important? How does that
Wow, I was
us?
going to see if there was any questions before we moved on to natal. Oh, there isn't any questions.
No, everyone seems to be
okay.
I'm just checking in the chat too. Okay, go ahead. Oh, there's a question from Tanya about how does Sagittarius affect the energy of this new moon?
Well, so the sign, so Sagittarius is Sagittarius is a fire sign, mutable fire. So the energies might be, so this, yeah, the Sagittarius energies will be amplified, Sagittarius is also sort of travel and interested in kind of knowledge and the big picture. Sagittarius is quite a sort of fun, kind of fiery energy. So it depends on loads more things than that, like how you experience the new moon, which I'll probably talk about a little bit about. I mean, so it depends then how that new moon is aspected. I'm just gonna have a little look as well. So it's not just the sign it's in, it's whether it's making challenging or not so challenging aspect. Oh, it's the full moon one I was going to talk about. So the new moon, yeah, I mean, hopefully, like, Sagittarius is fun. Hopefully it's a fun new moon, but that would be a sweeping generalization. There's something sort of clearer that I can represent actually in the chart of the full moon, which will give us an idea of how the full moon's going to feel. Although with astrology, as you can see on the chart, there's hundreds of other things going on, so you can't sort of say, well, the moon is gonna rule, because by the time we're in the full moon, Mercury's in retrograde, we're going to be in holiday season, so there may be other challenges coming up. But if I share my screen again and show you the full moon chart, the full moon is going to be in 4 degrees of that's in the way 4 degrees of Cancer, with the sun in 4 degrees of Capricorn. We have Jupiter here in 5 degrees of Taurus, which is making a harmonious aspect. The most harmonious aspect with the sun is a trine. So when the numbers are the same or nearly the same, that's when there's an aspect. There's a trine. It's making a trine with the sun, and a sextile here with so 60 degrees away from the moon, 90 degrees away from the sun. And Jupiter is the planet of good luck and abundance, and he's the big guy. So the fact that there's a harmonious aspect with, you know, Jupiter involved and the sun and the moon would suggest that's going to be like a nice time for everyone. I would say if the moon though is making a challenging aspect with something in your chart, you know, it's never as clear cut as that. But that's the kind of things that we look at when we're wondering how the full or new moon might be affecting us. So that's probably what astrologers will be talking about. It's also making a not quite as close aspect, but it's also making a nice aspect with Saturn. Saturn's doesn't have a very good reputation as being a very friendly chappy, but when he's in nice aspect, it's actually Saturn is structure and support, and so yeah. Full moon on the 27th of December is looking good. There wasn't so many clearer aspects to show you on the new moon, but gave you an idea with the Sagittarius. Did that answer whoever's question?
And there's a question from Autumn, and she's curious if you have anything that you do for the full or new moon, like intention setting or anything else. I think normally for a new moon, people do a lot of intention setting. And for the full moon, they do a lot of releasing and clearing, right?
Yeah, so traditionally, I thought someone would ask about this because I thought someone might ask, well, where do those things come from? Because I realised I don't actually know. I used to write a list of intentions for the new moon, and sometimes I would do a little ritual. Sometimes I write them down and bury them in the garden or burn them, or I think really make it your own. For the full moon, I was normally much more guided to really surrender. It's supposed to be a time for both, more of a time for letting go and then like also sort of manifesting. But I think I used to focus more on the sort of letting go to allow in. I would kind of let the full moon be whatever it needed to be for me. So that was sort of personally. I kind of stopped doing new moon intentions. I don't know. That I like, yeah, there's different practices.
Yeah, but generally, you know, I know a lot of people do that, like light a candle, sit down, be, you know, contemplative, reflective, and think about what they want to create for the new moon. Because the new moon energies amplify your intentions, right? And then for the full moon, it's about getting out of your own way a little bit, right? Releasing, your own agendas and patterns, and allowing them the moon to help you manifest, to come to fruition, whatever it is that you desire.
Yeah. And sometimes you'll find the new moon intentions either come straight away or they come just before the next new moon. Or sometimes they come on the full moon that was of that sign. So you might find that your new moon and Sagittarius intentions come to fruition in the Sagittarius full moon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so so now you talked a little about the moon and the planets, how it's not just one thing that's happening in your chart. There's many different things, so you can't just say, it's because of the moon that this is what's going on. There's so many other things going on at the same time. So so really, for those of us who are novices with astrology or not even beginners, how, what would be best for us to focus on, right?
Well, astrology is an intuitive art rather than a science. So it part of it is sort of feeling in or using whichever psychic power you use to sort of be drawn to which bits to focus on. For example, I mean, if you're learning, you might just want to start with the moon, and kind of the moon being emotions and feeling, it is one to start with, like sort of feeling into, but if you're new to astrology, you have to make it bite size, and then you will start to sort of layer on, the details. But where to look, where to know. I mean, I think tracking the moon is a good one to start with, really.
So that's the best. So that's the best place to start if we're brand new to astrology, is looking at the moon, where it is in our chart, and the characteristics of that, I suppose, right?
I guess so, yeah. It would be your moon and then your sort of personal planet signs. Shall I talk about what the moon means in the natal chart? So the moon and your moon sign, potentially your house. I'm not talking about houses too much today. Your moon sign is your like, with the moon being out at night, so that it's your nighttime persona, so you can sort of understand that kind of the thinking behind that. So your moon sign or your moon characteristics can be more hidden. Emotions, as I said before, your moon sign can say about you, how you sort of maybe process emotions, or how you are or aren't emotional. And also with this hidden kind of nighttime thing, it potentially sort of represents the unconscious mind. So that's why it's a good one and a really interesting one to know about yourself. And now, personally, when I found out my moon, I have a moon in Virgo, I didn't instantly recognize it. I was like, oh, really? And then it was sort of like, as I kind of read a bit about it or listened to people talking about it, I gradually was like, oh yeah, totally. Another thing
I think just really quickly, so mine, I think, is in Aquarius or Capricorn, right?
Yeah, Aquarius, yeah.
So when I look at Aquarius, my mother's sun sign is Aquarius, so it's like, I'm not like her, right? Like, but then again, I am so much like her as well.
Amazing point. No, you're not like her, because your sun sign isn't like your moon sign.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
It has that distinction, but I'm glad you made that point, because I didn't have that on my notes. But very often, like I say, the sun, the moon is in astrology is associated with the mother. Very often you will have a connection with your moon sign, will have a connection with your mother. And so you've just illustrated it there.
Yeah. So
it's the same as her sun sign, or it will be there'll be some sort of aspect, like my eldest son, his moon is almost the same degree as my rising sign, for example. My younger son, his moon is in almost the same place as my moon.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just because it's like, I always find that so interesting to see how we relate to our family members, with regards to mostly we focus on sun sign, right? And it's like, and I think my daughter's moon sign is close to mine or something like that. So it's like, how could we be so opposite? It feels like,
It's really awesome to know your child's moon sign as well, because like I was saying that was what I was going to say, that it's important to understand your moon sign, because because of this nurturing thing. It's also how we feel nurtured.
Right. Yeah.
And there may be some things that you weren't sure if you were really allowed, or other people don't seem to be, it's about really allowing that. Like me with the moon in Virgo, like, I'm sometimes overanalyze things, and you get people saying, oh, you shouldn't overanalyze things. It's like, but I feel nurtured by overanalyzing things. Virgo's also a healer as well, so I feel nurtured literally by healing people. And so when you know the moon signs of your children, you can also have a deeper understanding of how they feel nurtured, which obviously as a parent is useful, because they might feel nurtured by something slightly odd that you don't think of. They might have Capricorn moon, they might actually earth moons are like, need more sort of routine, need more solidity.
Okay, that's interesting. I like that. It is interesting
cool
to know.
It's really cool. And that's why, like you were saying, there's loads of other things in the chart, but because we're just talking
I didn't
about
know about the nurturing part with regards to the moon, to be honest. That's new to me, so I didn't know about that. So now when I look at my daughter's moon sign and my son's moon sign, then at least I'll know how to better nurture them, right?
If and this could be however old they are, they always do. Need nurturing, don't they?
Well, children are children. They always
yeah,
need
your
nurturing.
friends or your partner as well, even. I mean, hopefully you worked out that out with your partner by now, but you know. And like
Awesome.
I
Thank
say,
you.
it can be things that you might be beating yourself up for or thinking, oh, I shouldn't. And it's like, no, actually, and this is the same with as you unpack more of your chart, it's like, you know,
Yeah,
gives you permission to like be that person or have those needs or, you know.
yeah.
So
how
yeah.
can we nurture fire moons? Autumn is asking.
Fire moons need like fire has a lot of energy. Your fire moons often feel nurtured by oh god, I have my list of the moons and the signs. That's actually on a PDF in one of my packages as well. Fire moons, yeah, need fun, need action, adventure. Often fire moons like exercise, you know, physical. I say like broadly, that kind of thing.
More activity.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Fire's got chi, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then yeah, be slightly different for the different signs, but yeah, just remember I printed out my.
Linda, did you have a question? You had your hand raised. Did you have a question?
Sure. Anything about my moon sign?
What is?
I was born December 4th, 1950, and at 9:30 a.m. Or no, I can't do that.
Did you message me before? I've got some
Yes, I
people.
did. Yes, I did.
Linda.
It's LL. There should be
Did you
two
email
L's.
me? I haven't got your chart. I might be able to put chart times in sort of later, but I've
Okay.
got
All right. Forget it. That's
sorry,
okay.
maybe you emailed me too late. Well, just before. I don't know. Didn't see
Yeah,
it.
I don't think she emailed you. I think she just wrote it in the chat here.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. You're right, Alara. I did.
Well, I could go on to that. I don't like it takes me a minute or two to just put it in, so I'm not sure if that's going to be a good thing to do on a live show. That's why I kind of asked people to have it before, because I've got those charts ready, but I guess we can see how we get on for time. Is there any more questions before I look at any more sort of broad questions rather than personal questions?
Yeah. What do air moons need for nurturing?
Air needs to talk.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes to study. I mean, Libra would need like a relationship balance. Aquarius needs likes to study. Humanitarian. Gemini moon particularly, that needs to talk about their emotions. They need to talk about something. They need to talk to a mate. They, you know, very, yeah. Aries.
Now again, we're talking about moons. We're not talking about the sun signs. We're talking about the moons.
Sun sign.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's similar themes, but with moons, yeah, we're more specifically talking about, yeah, like emotional needs and nurturing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that might, yeah, you might not have recognized that in yourself if you're like a water sun sign, where you think you are quite quiet, but there is this part of you that needs to talk.
Exactly. Cindy saying this is so interesting to learn about. I'm a Virgo, and this would explain the wanting to heal and nurture everyone.
Yeah, and Virgo's the healer. Virgo's an amazing healer.
See, I'm a healer, but I'm not Virgo.
You might have Virgo. I think you might have Virgo in your chart. I didn't look at your chart before.
Know. Yeah, it's okay.
I mean, yeah, it's funny. Not okay. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be your sun sign, but yeah. I have a stellium. I have 4 planets. I have the moon and 3 planets in Virgo, so I'm like.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want to do some of the charts that we already have the information for to explain a little bit?
Yeah, unless anyone had sort of broad questions before I start. Yeah, okay, then let's dive in. Okay. We're doing good for time. I
think so.
Like, in a way, I had a lot to say, but not loads of words, because it's quite profound, but there isn't sort of more explanation that is needed. So it was more like what I had to, the kind of the foundation for the moon is kind of important. So I didn't want, someone had a question first. Tanya. Can I answer that?
She's just asking about Scorpio. I think Scorpio moon. I have to keep clarifying that. It's like the Scorpio moon, not the Scorpio sun sign, right? How to nurture a Scorpio moon?
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
guessing.
Scorpio is deep. Scorpio is quite doesn't opposite to an air moon, might not really want to, it could be quite secretive. Scorpio moons, I would say, probably feel nurtured by sex. It's all right to say that. They're like is something that Scorpios need. So broadly, yeah, I probably should have gone through all the moon signs, shouldn't I? There is yeah, I have done a handout for that in one of my packages, but that's briefly Scorpio. Scorpio's deep, dark, intense.
Does that help, Tanya, or was there something else around that generally?
No, it's okay.
Good.
Okay.
Awesome. Good. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I was wondering if anyone had general questions, but yes. I can do the other moon signs. Let's jump into some charts and maybe I can do the other moon signs later. But yeah, this is good that we're here with time. Yeah, it was more like what I had to say was important rather than there was a lot of it. And so yeah, hopefully I've not sort of overloaded. Screen share then.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go over each and every moon sign. That would just take up the whole call.
Well, there's only 12 and I've done like 3 of them. I mean, it's good to keywords because also, let me say this that's really important is that there are keywords and there are themes for each sign, but how you experience your moon sign is going to be personal to you, which is why I'm very keen on teaching astrology as well as reading it, because the reading is where I would sort of intuit the information that you needed, but for you to sort of understand a little bit about what your moon sign means, and then to understand what the moon means in the chart and what your moon sign is, you have to make like the best way to understand astrology and to understand your chart is to be making those connections sort of as you go along. So like I say, I found out it was Virgo moon and I wasn't sure originally, and then as the days and weeks went on, like my Virgo moon was popping up everywhere, and I was like, oh, it was when I then sort of took in that what it meant for me. There's themes for all the signs that we're not all going to have, like all of them. So that's why this is an introduction really to the moon and your moon sign, and hopefully you will sort of move through the rest of your life deepening your understanding of your moon sign and the moon and yeah, what it means and how that shows up for you and how that's important for you. Anyway, this gets in the way of my tabs. So the first person that messaged me was Laurie. I don't know how to pronounce. Is she here?
Laurie, are you here?
No.
Do we have a Laurie here? Let's see.
Maybe she's here.
There is a Laurie here. I don't know if that's the one.
Oh, maybe she doesn't want to speak.
Yeah, Laurie P.
Hello.
Hi. I'm sorry.
That's right.
I'm sorry.
That's
Or-
right. Hi. You messaged me earlier and you just gave me your moon sign, your sun sign, which straight away I knew that they made a square, but I wanted to know the numbers to sort of see. So you have the moon in Cancer. That's the moon's home sign. I guess I don't know how much you know about astrology, but for other people on the call, all of the planets and the luminaries have a ruling sign, and it's a sign that they rule. Some of them rule 2 signs. Moon rules Cancer, so that should suggest that there's a sort of process emotions quite comfortably, although it makes a square with your sun. So there can be sort of tension with so your Aries sun is sometimes not sure about your Cancer moon, your emotions, and sometimes this kind of doesn't really want it's like, oh, what are you upset about? Sometimes the sun and moon square. The square is a more challenging aspect. A square happens with the modality of the sign. So if they're in the same modality, they're both cardinal signs. Cardinal like has more energy anyway, this sort of initiatory energy. So for them two to be kind of jostling with each other, but a square, is the squares in the chart, although they can represent challenge, is often where, you know, the solutions are forced and where the growth happens. A sun and the moon square, so saying that the moon is associated with the mother, the sun can be associated with the father. So a sun and moon square, sometimes, not always, the challenge between the sun and the moon in the chart may represent the relationship with your parents, either when you were conceived or when you were born, or now. There may have been some sort of challenge in their relationship, so that's to note. But
Yeah, I think it's the wrong Lori. Lori P is not here. This is the one we were talking to was a
I
different
did have a
Lori.
Lori. I did have a Lori P. Was it not her?
I don't think
She's
she's
gone.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, there she
You are
is.
here. I
Okay,
thought you
there
were.
she-
Yes. That's correct about the parents. They did not get along.
There you go. So although you have this sort of challenge with the sun and the moon, your sort of personality and your emotions, you have this really supportive aspect with Mercury. Mercury is this little symbol here. It's a slightly wider orb. It's a slightly wider aspect. We got the moon in 12 and Venus is in 16. This aspect I talked about earlier, the trine, is between two signs of the same element. So we've got water, moon in water here, Cancer, and we've got the Venus is quite close. We've got Mercury here in Pisces. I have Mercury in Pisces as well. So Mercury will be the mind and communication and sort of mental processing. And although Pisces is quite internal, so it might be more the sort of mental processing than the kind of communications here. You have a really nice flow. So you had that challenge there with the sun, but you have this nice flow with being able to sort of mentally process your emotions, I would say.
How does that sound, Lori P? Lori P?
Sounds good. I have a lot of Pisces.
Yeah, Pisces is the best. It's my
Yep,
sun
I
sign.
agree.
So, you know, yeah. I mean, everyone loves the sun sign.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
bet Venus and Aries as well. So yeah, you have a lot of Pisces. I mean, yeah. Oh God, I could talk about your chart. You have a mystic, not a mystic rectangle. You've got a finger of God here. This triangle. Anyway, focusing on the moon. Anything else to say about the moon? Yeah, that's your main aspect.
Does that make sense, Lori? Any questions about that, about the moon part?
No, none that I can think of.
Good.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That's interesting about the mother and the father aspect.
Isn't it?
Good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you for sharing your chart. Like I say, there's loads more I could talk about. There's loads of exciting things, but I'm going to rein myself in.
Oh boy. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We have, yes, I'm sorry. Some people probably wouldn't have seen on an email. I know I wouldn't have read an email down to that far to have known to give their birth details. So I'm just doing the people that saw it. We've got Lily. Have we got Lily?
Lily S. Is there a Lily S here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yay. Lily. Oh, America. Lily was born like a couple of
A
miles
mile
up
from
the
you.
road from where I was born. I was like, how mad is that? Now lives in
I'm
California.
excited to I just saying to my husband yesterday, we need to go home and hear somebody from home. So that makes me excited.
There you go. Yeah, I'm in Brighton now, which is still is not far from Dorking.
Yeah,
Anyway, it's not maybe so interesting for everyone else.
I love
You have the Aries moon. So yeah, like we were talking about Aries, yeah, needing activity, maybe needing like exercise, and
Right.
Aries is the baby of the zodiac, but also like the divine spark, like the initiator, you know, is has this innocence and sort of playful. Aries moon, I've heard some astrologers saying sort of Aries moon can have sort of quite like more like emotional trauma kind of early on in life. and kind of find themselves, you know, by now you should hopefully be all right. Your moon aspects, you have this really fairly close supportive aspect. Is that the first one I'm going to talk about? Is that the main one? No, I'm going to talk about you have a trine. You have this is the most harmonious for you. Fire and fire. Here you've got the moon in 21 Aries and you've got Mars in 23 Leo. So that's this easy flow between Mars being the planet of action, how you like to do things, and you know, and emotions. So they sometimes, you wouldn't necessarily think that Mars would be kind of going to get on very well with emotions. So to have that aspect is really nice, and you can sort of act on your emotions really like appropriately, I would say, and the way you take action by sort of very naturally, maybe not even without realizing, based on emotions. Emotions. Yeah, we're nearly Mercury retrograde, so the communications are blah, blah, blah. What was I going to say?
Fire.
Yeah, fire is often, when I think about astrology and the clairs, the different clairs, fire's quite claircognizant. Your intuition will be quite quick. You're knowing sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
People know
I'm
you.
a healer.
Sorry?
I do shamanic work. I'm a healer. I work with animals, spirit, people.
Cool.
I'm very in tune with things. Yeah.
And you find claircognizance to be a strong one for you.
Yeah.
You just know. You just know stuff.
I know a lot.
Yeah. Fire's quick.
Yeah.
Fire's like, it's this.
Yes.
Like, right, okay, cool. With water.
Yeah,
we're
it
feeling
scares
in.
people.
Does it?
I scare people sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I know a little too much.
Yeah. With fire, it's quite direct as well. So you might not necessarily be sort of sugarcoating things.
No.
Or fire's like, right, it's this. Fire's not kind of holding back, is it? It's kind of going for it.
I'm right in there.
Yeah. So people have to just deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I try and sugarcoat. I'm a wolf medicine woman. And with wolf,
cool.
I'm a truth finder. I'm a pathfinder. So I go right in and I go, if you don't want to know the truth, don't come see me.
It's really powerful, and it's a really beautiful way of working. And it's what a lot of people need, actually.
Yeah.
You also, your emotions are very supported by this Saturn in Aquarius. It's a sextile. Sextiles are between either fire and air. You can understand that fire and air kind of get along quite well. These are the colors I'm pointing here. The red is fire and yellow is air, and a sextile is also between earth and water. Just to say a little bit about sextiles. Trines are with the same element, and sextiles are with those pairs. If I was when I'm teaching on the signs, I think it's really useful to have that basis of like the elemental understanding, then really supports when we're talking about aspects. It all makes a lot more sense. Oh gosh, I need to plug my
So how is that feeling for you, Lily? How does that look?
Oh, it's spot on.
Hang on, gosh, I've lost you. No,
we're here.
There we go. I didn't quite finish the Saturn, but yeah, that's a supportive structure. I feel safe in being emotional, and that's very grounding, I would say. This Saturn sextile. They're your main ones, I think. Sorry. Yeah. Did you want to?
Yeah. No, everything's spot on. I'm a deep
there is something else.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go. I'm
saying everything from the moment you said exercise. I'm constantly active. I can't bear being still.
Brilliant.
I'm always outside with nature. I'm always with spirit, with birds, with animals, and I'm an initiator. I'm always creating. I'm always starting something.
Well,
I'm always giving birth to something and taking things through.
Giving birth. That's Aries is the divine spark.
I'm always giving birth to things. I have so many ideas and have done so many things creating wise. I'm emotional, but I know how to get to the point Like, I don't run from them. I really express them, and I encourage others to do the same. So yeah, it's spot on. Really great.
Yeah, one more thing I might say quickly, I might not. Your moon squares your nodes, your north node and your south node. I don't know if you know much about the north node and south node. When there's a square, so the north node is like broadly is where, like, what our soul is here to move towards, what our soul is here to learn.
Yes.
It's in Cancer, so it's like home, that again, it's like the sort of nurturing. So again, we've got that square here with the two cardinal signs, is Cancer and Aries. What I would say is, and then normally we're moving away from our south node, which for you is in Capricorn. They don't show it on astro.com, it's opposite. So obviously this square, because the nodes opposite each other, it's squaring both. It's 90 degrees between both, 180 the opposition. What I find when there's something squaring the nodes is that there may be normally really the south node represents our past lives, but there is more like trauma around, like there's past life trauma with the north node themes. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yes.
Would be, or that you've worked on, would be trauma around Cancer themes of like home, family. So that it's less, it's slightly, it's more nuanced, this sort of north node south node, the split, and but you know, the fight of the square is helping you to get to your north node and work with your south node. So I think that's it's interesting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
No, great. Thank you so much. Really
That's
appreciate
right.
Brilliant.
Pleasure. I'm in my element. This is
it. You are my sister. I bow to you. Thank you.
Welcome. Nice to meet you, fellow
too.
Surrey born person.
Yeah. There you go. I love it. Thank you.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Thank you, Lily.
Thank you very much.
Does
All right,
anyone
who do
else
we-
have any questions about those two, or should I move on?
Go to Jen. She had to leave, but she had written in the chat that she had sent her info to you.
Oh right, okay. I was just wondering if people have questions on sort of not
Anybody
on
have
their
any questions?
not on their personal stuff, but
People
actually
just have
on
questions about their personal
people just
stuff.
want to know about their charts.
Yeah,
Fair
for
enough.
sure.
Fair enough.
So we'll just do
I'll
Jen
move
quickly,
on.
and then we'll
Well,
see.
no, I'll move on. I've got these two that I've
Oh,
already got up. I've
yeah.
got Lily.
Yeah, we did Lily and we did.
Sorry, we did
Lori.
Lily, and then I had someone who emailed me just a few minutes before. So I've not looked at your chart yet, and already I'm like, wow, just look at the patterns.
So this is Jen from Illinois, just so you know, because
Yeah.
you're gonna watch on the replay. So this is your chart here.
Oh, sorry, she had to leave.
Yeah,
I had
she
her
had to
chart.
leave.
Oh, okay.
So if you could just
Watching the
tell
replay.
briefly.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, the moon.
Yeah, let's focus on the moon.
Wow, there's absolutely loads to say about your chart, but there isn't that much to say about the moon. It's not really it's not aspecting that many things. And do you know, when something's unaspected, it's sextile Pluto. Let's talk about that. I mean, I guess that's pretty deep. Where's Pluto? There he is. It's a 3-degree orb. Pluto's in 2936. It's in 2637. That's your closest aspect. To say then briefly, if it is unaspected, this is relatively unaspected. Different astrologers use different size orbs. They might say that if something's vaguely opposite and it's, you know, the numbers are different, I like to keep it quite tight because there's so much that astrology can say. For me, this is my Virgo. I like the details, I like things to be exact. Anyway, gosh, we're doing well for time.
It's very interesting how
Sextile
each chart looks different, you know? Each chart looks completely different than any other.
Yeah, and like I was saying with big orbs, that's another thing, like this software, which is free, by the way, astro.com, if anyone wants to start exploring. It shows big, it will show the lines will show relationships between things that I wouldn't necessarily be interested in. Sometimes it can look really busy. There's different softwares that can give you sort of different pictures, like clearer pictures. But yeah, I mean this, and because I like to look at orbs, I actually like to work with the table of numbers as much as I like to sort of look at the wheel. But I mean, yeah. Your moon, the main aspect that your moon makes is this harmonious aspect, is sextile between water and earth. Your moon's in Scorpio. We talked a little bit about Scorpio moon. Scorpio moon's deep, secretive. Pluto's deep as well. Pluto also doesn't have a very good reputation, but when he's in supportive aspect, I would say you have a comfortable relationship with the occult even, and like that really supports your Scorpio moon, because Scorpio and Pluto go together. Pluto rules Scorpio, so you've got that Pluto energy there with your Scorpio placement, and then with this relationship with Pluto here being right at the end of its sign. Yeah, emotional depth is, Pluto can be Pluto sex as well, so that's probably a nice let's get rid of that. Oh gosh, well done, sorry. Yeah, nurture and sex. It's probably nice, or has been nice at some point, depending on your relationship status. So that's the main thing I could say about your moon. There's loads of other interesting things going on in your chart, but I'm focusing on the moon. So, and I'm not talking about houses. That's kind of another discussion, really. It's not something, like I say, different astrologers have different boundaries and different things they focus on. That's not something that I focus on for a number of reasons.
So hopefully if you're watching this on the replay, Jen, it is making sense to you. I'm just gonna
feel free to email me, Jen, if you have any questions, or if you want to say yay or no, or so I didn't actually finish saying, when something's unaspected, it kind of means that there's not really you're like saying in terms of the moon, your emotions would be sort of like clear and concise, and it's not like interfered with like these other energies. So you've got that nice Pluto aspect, but other than that, you haven't. It's close to it's kind of close to Neptune, but because it's in a different sign, we don't talk about that so much as a conjunction because of the way aspects work with how the signs interact. Yeah, you have a clearer, less complicated relationship with any of your luminaries or your planets that when they're unaspected. So
lucky her.
Yeah, hopefully
That's good for you.
Yeah, your emotions aren't uncomplicated because you have the moon in Scorpio, but uncomplicated by other things other than that supportive aspect with.
Awesome. So I know that somebody, Tanya,
so now other people want me to put their birth dates in.
Oops, gosh, can you stop the screen share? I don't know why I can't, but
yeah.
Just for a second, I think she put her in for her chart in the chat. Can you see that?
Chat. So who am I looking for?
Tanya, she put her info in the chat.
Tanya, put my chart in the chat.
Yeah, go up a little bit. That's right there.
Yeah. Oh, so
I don't know.
It's yeah. Can you see my screen? No. It's yeah, it's using different software, so I'm not, and it's blurry, so it's easier if I could do people's birth. Is that the date? That's the date of birth, 31st of December.
No.
Capricorn.
No, that's
the date when they did the chart. 2020. I can put people's.
Okay.
It's easier if I put people's birth dates in, so it doesn't take too long. It's just yeah,
but we don't want to go over, so I just want to.
Well, we're doing well.
So
time.
Cindy's asking, is it necessary to know your birth time to determine your moon sign?
Brilliant question. I would have hoped I would have covered that earlier on. I think I maybe whizzed through a bit too quickly earlier. The moon, so like I was saying, that the moon moves quickly. So that means the moon changes sign every 2.5 days. So like every 3 days, the moon would be in a different sign, whether you were born in the morning or in the afternoon.
So if you know the birth date, you just don't know the time.
Yeah, there's a chance that you could be 2 different moons. If you don't know the time at all, if you've got an idea of the time, you can tend to work it out. And it's good to know your birth time. So for the other planets, they're going to mostly be in the same place like all day, like I was saying. But with the moon sign, it will move around or between 10 and 12 degrees that day. So yeah, there's a possibility. Often you can feel in if you have no idea your birth time and the moon was in 2 signs that day, you can sort of feel, because where the signs are next to each other, quite different energies. So am I a fire? You'd be Aries, maybe it would move into Taurus that day. It would be quite different. You'd be talking about quite different emotional needs for those 2 signs. But and then knowing the birth time so that you know the degrees, so that you to go into the detail of like how does that interact with other bits of my chart. So
and then there's a question,
squares or whatever would be, depending if it's 12 degrees earlier or later, would not necessarily be so relevant.
So she says it is most likely in the morning time, but
so yeah, I mean like I say, there's a couple of days where the moon's only in 1 sign anyway, so for most people that just want to know the sign rather than me, that would want to know the exact the detail, the degrees. I think I meant to give you a link to put in the email actually, so that people could look up their moon sign if they didn't know it, so that they could have some sort of of those, be going through those sort of thought processes whilst we're talking. But
and then there's a question, what if our moon squares our Mercury? What does that mean?
Well, Mercury is the sort of mental processing, and Mercury's the mind, and Mercury's sort of communication. So square with the moon, your kind of emotions and feelings. There may be tension between this sort of mental processing or communication of the emotions, and that challenge will be irritating at times, but also will be sort of a force for, it can also be your superpower. But the way that you work, the way that as you go through life, you work out how to work around those, or you work out how to work with that challenge, and that often becomes your superpower. Does that resonate? So if that person want to say,
Oops, hold on 1 second. That's the wrong thing. Yes, she said yes, thank you.
okay.
All right, so
Nothing else to say. That's broadly, depends what else is going on in your chart and the signs they're in and that sort of thing. But I would say that's my sort of broad interpretation.
So Tina says, this is what came up after I got emailed. I don't know what that means. Aries 16 degrees. Does that mean, Tina, does that mean that that's what your moon sign is? Is that what you're asking? You want to unmute yourself?
Didn't get an email from Tina.
Yeah,
Don't know where it went. Sorry if you did email me. I can't see it.
It said one. Yeah, that's what came up. I said when I sent it, it came up that it said Aries. It was my moon.
Okay, perfect.
And then there's numbers.
We've done Aries moon a couple of times. So do you have the same? That's what I was going to wanted to ask people as well. If they
That's why, yeah.
If they resonate, how they resonate, how if you knew your moon sign before, how you resonate with it, or if you've only just found out, does it feel resonant or does it feel like a surprise? Or
no, it resonant. I mean, yeah.
It can be a surprise when you just know your sun sign and you sort of start to get to know yourself as that, and then you realize you're something else. And sometimes you're like,
well, be it
or if I liked Aries, and that's actually me. Sorry.
I said being a Libra and then the fire, it's like to try to balance and then try to balance that fire out.
Oh
It's like,
gosh, you're a
"Woo!"
Libra. That means you're a full
Yeah.
moon. That means you're a full
Yeah.
moon, baby, because they're sun and moon in
Yeah.
opposition. I'm a
Yeah,
full
so
moon
it's like,
baby as well.
Yeah. So I was hoping you could at least look at that and tell and like look at the aspects of it. I thought you got it, but I was late sending it in, so maybe you just didn't get the email.
I don't know. I can't see it.
I put my birth date in. It's like 10, 10/3/63, California, Vallejo, 9/27. I put it in the text message then too.
Oh, 3rd of the 10th.
But I also sent the
Yeah,
email.
you guys do dates different way around the month and the day. What we do in the UK, so it can get confusing. But yeah, I can tell you I can tell you you're a full moon. Do you know that? Have you got the numbers of degrees that your sun and moon are?
Yeah, I just sent that to you in the text. Let me look at it again.
In the chat?
Or in the message there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 16 degrees, 34,
Aries.
41.
Yeah, and what degrees is your sun? What degrees your Libra?
I don't know that.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
I have, so I don't know.
Oh, so what date? I can tell the sun sign from your date of birth, roughly. What day?
It's
your 10th.
October 3rd. October 3rd, yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 10th month. 3rd.
Yeah.
So you're early. That's fairly early. Libra starts on the 21st. Oh, so that you're fairly close full moon. Yeah. Roughly, if you take 10 degrees off the birth, if you take 9 off the birth date, it's 30 degrees in each, and each sign begins around the 21st. So yeah.
I just know that I can be very, like, my energy can just be like, so, wow, you know, like I just can be almost too much to handle myself. I listen to me, I'm like, how can I handle something like that?
With the
It's
opposition,
like,
there's this sort of tension, but like I was talking about with the sextiles, is that fire and air actually go quite well together, so you can sort of go in between your Libra energy and your Aries energy, and that actually they can live alongside each other. That's what
I've learned
told
that
myself about my full moon.
I just got chills when you said that, because I'm learning how to live in that, because I think I'm so much in that Aries at times. So I'm learning to come into the balance, and that the air actually like
you want to balance
fire, and that
Libra,
together.
your Libra definitely wants to balance things anyway.
Yeah.
I would say, like some people say about oppositions, it is about balancing or learning how to balance or merge those energies. But for me, my oppositions, I find I'm actually both. Right. And they sort of actually run in parallel sometimes, rather than being. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, maybe that's what it is.
I can be Pisces 1 second and Virgo the next second, and like that's okay, rather than trying to sort of squeeze those two together.
Because they'll never get together. That's what. Thank you, because that's what I've been.
Right.
I feel like I butt up against, because they'll never match together.
And
they have to be. They're both aspects.
They don't need to. Yeah. Right. Sometimes you can dialogue. You can use astrology doing sort of dialoguing, like how you might talk to your inner child. You can talk to your Aries and talk to your Libra, and you can sit them both down and see if they've got anything to say to each other, or you sort of play with it like that as well sometimes. But yeah,
I do.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. My Pisces and Virgo, they get on all right, and then I've got my Sagittarius rising, which just makes fun of both of them.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Tina. Hopefully that helps.
Okay, good. I'm sorry I didn't get your chart, but we got some interest. We had got some interesting stuff anyway, just to focus on the full moon. Right. Anyone else full moon baby or new moon? I'm a lunar eclipse as well.
Oh wow.
Just for a bit more intensity.
So we do have some people with their hands raised, but before we go to any more readings, questions, I just want to talk a little bit about the packages. Because I don't want to run out of time. So give me 1 second here. And then we'll go back and do a few more quick readings. It's like I don't want to run out of time either. So let's just be okay. You should be able to see my screen now. Yes, awesome. All right, so Laura has 3 packages. So one is the package A is Connecting with the Wonder of Astrology course, Foundation 1 and Foundation 2. And then package B is a 90-minute in-depth astrology reading. Right, today we're doing really, really basic. And then of course, package C is everything in package A and package B. So Laura, you want to just talk a little bit about the courses first and then the reading?
Courses are, so like I was saying about these 2 distinctions between kind of like the astrological weather and like the birth chart. So the courses are for tuning into the, beginning to tune into the astrological weather. Obviously they both support each other because it's the energies of the planets and the signs. It's just a different sort of context. It's teaching you how to begin to tune into and understand. So it's giving you really basics, like the keywords, like I was saying, it's the foundations of the signs, the elements, so you can build from understanding the elements to then understanding like each sign. And then it's talking about the first course is the energies of, like, again, the moon, and then each planet, and then like how that's interacting. So it's foundational. If you know a bit about astrology already, it's a chance to kind of consolidate that understanding. So it comes with a workbook where you can then sort of be recording your own keywords. There's questions in the workbook and exercises to sort of help you engage with the material. So it's sort of maybe you may go from a sort of scattered, I know bits and bobs about astrology, to having this really sort of consolidated, okay, these are the foundations, to begin to sort of track and tune into and become like, it's also about understanding the rhythm, like I was talking about, the speed that the moon, at which the moon moves. You're starting to get into the rhythm of how quickly the other planets move, and or slowly, and what that means and how that feels. And it's really, I'm teaching sort of observational astrology, so I'm giving you the key components for you to then observe and take my understanding, but also develop your own understandings. Then the second course, it talks about retrogrades, and then like goes a bit further into it. And the way that the course is designed is that there's these 2 foundational courses, and then I will be teaching part 3 and part 4. We will be learning in a live group, and we will be looking at then how we would then be learning aspects by looking at what's happening each week, and then talking in a group about how those energies are showing up for us. So we're having this real experiential, like observational learning. So yeah, but you don't have to go on to it, but that is sort of like the idea of the course. So yeah, that's was written there.
So that's package A. And of course,
and I should say as well, sorry, about the course, I have in the course notes, they are self-paced and they are for you to do on your own, but I'm really happy to hear from people and to take questions from people over email, because it's something sort of new that I'm developing and getting into. So there is that support on the course as well, so it's not just necessarily doing it on your own. So there's and the support is me, not my team, because I'm wanting to know how people are finding it, and I'm wanting to sort of go on the journey with people. So
yeah, nice.
So yeah,
and then the package B is a 90-minute in-depth astrology reading.
Yeah, I mean, we've had an insight into what that is just by talking about the moon, talking about all of the other energies in your chart, what that might mean for you, and then also talking about, which was something I was going to talk about with the charts, then get around to it, which is fine, but how the outer planets, particularly the ones that are this sort of creating these energies for life changes, is when they like when one of the big planets would maybe sort of be on top of your moon or something like that, how that could play out for you. So I would also be able to give people dates to watch out for when these energies, for when these sort of like harmonious times to sort of take advantage of, and when there might be when like challenges might be coming up. Yeah, how beautiful astrology is for being seen, heard and validated.
So that's the 90-minute in-depth astrology reading with Laura. So
Yeah, that would be a written report and a live.
Yeah, it's a live one-on-one interaction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So that's package B, and then package C is everything in package A and package B together.
Yeah,
and of course, if you are an Inner Circle member, please do take advantage of your gift code as well. And there are payment plans available for all 3 packages. So please do take a look at them. If you're really interested in astrology, if you're a novice, if you're a beginner, you know, start by taking this Foundations 1 and 2 course, and then at least you'll start to have a better understanding. And you know,
nice
working
about
with
the courses as well, like being self-paced, is that astrology, you can kind of go from starting to learn it to it feeling overwhelming, and this is really taking it at your own pace. If you just want to focus on the moon for a month, you can do that, or if you want to dive in and kind of get into all of it and then sort of take a step back again and see how it's fitting together is yeah, that's one of the good things about the style of it. Sorry,
yeah, absolutely. It doesn't have to be all at once. You can go at your own pace, and of course you can always email Laura as you're going through the courses as well if you have any questions. Or
yeah, because like I say, I'm building towards having these live interactions where we talk about how it's all showing up for us, which is really exciting. Hopefully I can put that in a package in a later one of these.
Awesome. So that's the packages,
shows.
and please do take a look at them and work with Laura if you can. So package B is just the astrology reading. And if you want to do all of it, choose package C. That way you get your courses plus the in-depth astrology reading working with Laura one-on-one.
Yeah, so that's covering your this natal astrology, which is more lends itself more to a one-on-one, and this like environmental astrology, like what's going on for the collective and what's going on now. And then how those interact is like the next level.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so there were some questions in the chat as well.
How can we tell the phase?
How can we tell the phase from when we were born?
Oh, like the moon phase?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there are calculators, there are online calculators and things that can tell you, like whether it was a waxing gibbous or a waning. That's not something I have delved into too much. I'm pretty sure you can find out online, but yeah, sorry, I don't have that much to. All
right, so there's phone number ending in 355. Do you have a question for Laura? You want to unmute yourself? If we have a few more minutes, so if you want to unmute yourself, if not, gone. Okay, we're going to go to Manisha, and Manisha, you want to unmute yourself?
Thank you, Lara. Hello, Lara. Hi. Hello, Laura.
Happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you. I'm one of those guilty people. I didn't read the full email, although I was sent.
It was at the beginning of the email. It was not even at the end. It was at the beginning.
No, but as I said to you, I had a very challenging week actually since sort of Saturday, and that's why I wanted to ask Laura, is that something to do with the moon? So I've had an extremely challenging few days actually.
But has it been since your birthday?
So it started from second when I went to a very big family so someone else's birthday event, and then it's carried on.
So if something's been going on for 6 days, it's unlikely to be the moon, because like I was saying, the moon's moving all the time, so it's not really it's not necessarily having it's not having those more profound effects, unless if something's moving slower and is interacting with your moon or something else in your chart, that will be bringing the discomfort, and depending on the nature of it as to what it might be. I mean, can you say like the energy of what's been
Yes, it's
has it been
just
emotional or angry or, you know, or I don't know.
yeah, emotional anger. So it's with my siblings, with my son. I've had an outburst with my son again on Wednesday. So it's just like heightened emotions with sort of people that are in my field. And that's what I was wondering. I've never
It
felt
might be
so-
then something that's going over your moon.
Yes. Okay.
Do you know where your moon is?
I don't really know when my
And
moon
so
is.
if it's something that feels like it's happening over a number of days, it might
Yes.
be Saturn or Mars, because they move at that sort of pace. So if it's something that's happening in a day or two, it could be Mercury,
Yes.
Venus, or the Sun, because they move every day. This is what the courses start to get you into the rhythm of. Whereas if it's something that's going over a week, the way that the speed, the rate at which the planets move, Mars will be interacting with something for a week, or yeah, more likely. I mean, I was thinking if you're a Sagittarius, Saturn is coming up to square Sagittarius, but if your birthday was recently, it won't be yet. You'll have that to look forward to. So yeah, that's what I would that's what I'd be looking at if I was looking at your chart without looking at your chart. I mean, yeah,
can I just
I'm
add
more
something?
interested in okay.
Well, normally, or I know for myself, sometimes during or around my birthday time, usually a lot of stuff comes up, emotional stuff can usually come up. So could that also have been affecting?
It depends
Manisha?
how your sun is aspected. So normally, this is something I was going to talk about as well, which I didn't. Is that your birthdays? In astrology we call it the solar return, because the sun comes back to where it was when you were born. And often that actually gives us a nice energy on our birthday. Like the sun, that's a sun, it's a solar like conjunction. The sun is conjunct where the sun was when you're born. The sun's getting together is normally why we feel quite good on our birthday. For me, my sun is making is a favorable aspect, because making this aspect with Chiron, the wounded healer. So just before my birthday, I'll have something, you know. So it depends how your sun is aspected as to how you find your birthday, I would say. And so in terms of the moon, when we would talk about the lunar return, because all of the planets have this time when they come back to where it was when you were born. Everyone will have heard of Saturn return, which happens when you're 30. Saturn takes 30 years to move around. The moon takes a month, as we're saying, a moon. So once a month you have your lunar return, where the moon returns to where you were, where it was when you were born, and that's normally like a pleasant few hours. Staying with the moon is where the moon moves is a few hours. So yeah, I'd have to look deeper to know what's going on for you to describe your last few days. But when one of the amazing things about astrology is, you know, when something is not feeling great, and when you can look at the stars, planets, and make some sort of structural, you know, when you realize there's some structure to what you're feeling, it just feels so supportive to have that sort of mapping of like what's going on for you. Is this is where this is what's going on, the stars, this is where I'm supposed to be, these are the energies I'm working with, can sort of just be such a relief. And also, like I was saying about the times, how quickly things move, it gives you an idea of how quickly something is going to move through or not, which normally is fine. Sometimes it can be like, oh, okay, I'm dealing with this for a couple of years if it's Pluto and Neptune, although we feel that less intensely because the slower moving ones bring this you know, more of a background. The middle ones can be like a challenge for a week or two, and then the moon aspects can be quite intense, but we move through them quite quickly. So
does that help, Manisha?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Alara. Thank you, Laura.
Sometimes you're welcome. Sometimes, I mean, I got to the point where I was like quite intensively, that's how I studied, really mapping everything every day and journaling and working it all out. Although I was working it all out. I sometimes I've got to the point now where I don't always need to look at what the astrology is. to just know that there is some astrology that describes whatever I'm going through, and that sometimes is enough for me now. Also, actually, as I've tuned in, I know now, like I'm having a Mars square, like I'm feeling angry. I'm like, I know this is Mars, or like Chiron, I recognize. I kind of, sometimes I go and look it up and just sort of, you know, affirm it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I know this energy. I know you, Mars. And you know, to actually sometimes helps you embrace the challenges sometimes a bit more as well. It's like, actually, I like Mars energy. I'm going to be a bit fiery and a bit angry about something, or, you know.
But it'll pass. And that's why I would say this too shall pass.
Yeah.
Tanya
And
has her hand raised.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, but the timing of how quickly it'll pass through sometimes is like, oh, I know, like most things for me pass really quickly, except for this the Saturn return is I got 3 more years or something.
Well, it's on and off, because Saturn is making that exact return, and then it moves away, and then it moves back. So it's sort of on and off as well. So it's not like, oh my God, I'm stuck with this for years. And I find in astrology circles as well, people get a bit depressive and they're like, oh my God, I've got this challenging aspect, and then this. And it's like, people don't spend enough time meditating on like the positive ones. Like the way the structure of it all works is that we have equal amounts of, you know, and actually you look back and you realize the challenging times are when the growth happens, but like we have the harmonies happening as well. But people don't like to talk about that. People don't like, you know, people like to moan about, oh my God, I've got, you know, it's this and this, and it's like you have to be a little bit careful with astrology of kind of tipping into the negativity. And that's something that when I'm going to be teaching in a group, I'm going to be really helping people understand how to work with it and not to sort of fall into those sort of traps, because I've fallen into them. Come back out. I've worked it out. It's like, I'm ready to share. But
it's good to know that there is a balance and there is a harmony, and you know, we just need to focus on the harmony part.
Well, you know, it's a bit about both. That's how, like, that's the structure of how it all works. It's quite beautiful, really.
All right, Tanya, go ahead.
So, hello, ladies. My question is a bit, maybe not completely about the moon, because I am Gemini, but I have a moon in
Scorpio
and ascendant in Scorpio. And I was wondering always, am I more Scorpio than Gemini? Because I'm not like other Geminis, you know.
I mean, like I was saying before, like there are traits each sign, but you can't. That's one thing I think puts people off astrology. Is like, it's not like we're all split into 12 different types, and everyone, 1/12 of the population is Gemini, and they're all the same. 1/12 of, do you see what I mean? So it is this mixture, and some people will be Gemini Sun and they'll really feel that, and some people may tune into more or recognize themselves more as Scorpio. Some people might see you as more as one or the other, but there's really no rules as to, and this is again why I'm talking about encouraging people to explore, like giving people the knowledge to start exploring and feeling into it yourself. And there's no right or wrong, really. You can't say, well, like, I'm supposed to be a Gemini and I'm not. And
how people see me as Gemini.
People see you as Gemini.
So what is ascendant then?
Oh, well, ascendant broadly is supposed to be how people see you.
How people see me as well.
Yeah, how you appear, how you come across. I would say just quickly on the ascendant, we tend to be more our ascendant when we're younger. But if you have the moon in the same sign, that's different. I think you're the same, Laura. You have the moon and your rising is Aquarius. I found you really Aquarius. When I first knew you and I didn't know your sign, I was like, Aquarius. She's really Aquarius. And then I was like, Pisces.
The best sign for me.
Sorry, Aquarius.
Aquarius is the best sign because I'm probably more. I know it's a lot of water in me. I'm very emotional, but I think mostly I'm air because of Gemini air. But I always found it very easy with Aquarius. I love the sign.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, there will be, water signs will get on in that certain way. And water and earth, again, like where you're looking at the aspects. of how our chart is interacting with what's going on in the astrological weather. You can do those same mappings with how does my chart interact with someone else's chart, where are the squares and challenges, where's the harmony, you know. So that's another thing about, like, once you've got the, you know, the components of astrology, and you can there's a whole world you know, that you can start to build and start to understand. So to start with the foundations. But
yeah, if I follow this circle of, like, air needs fire, fire needs whatever, air or whatever, so if I am emotionally more Scorpio, because my emotions are deep and complicated, so what sign do I need, what kind of sign do I need
I would say Earth is good for Scorpio, would be good for Scorpio, particularly Virgo or Capricorn, grounding.
No, my ex was Capricorn.
The sextiles. It depends on the numbers, though. Again, like with those, like I was saying with the, you know, so like to say that broadly, but that might be why you were drawn to him originally. You know what I mean? So, it's too broad to kind of say. Not to make those kind of, but that's what came through. Or other water signs, but I would say
Thank you.
Taurus would be opposite, so that sometimes can be good and sometimes can be,
and thank you, Laura,
challenging.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you.
It's difficult.
That's why the course is can be important, because you can start to get the foundational aspects of the course and then start to learn.
It's tempting for me to really try, which I sort of trialed, of like really diving into the amazing things that astrology can say, but actually you have to start with the foundations. So
awesome. So iPhone has their hand raised. We'll just take this quickly. I'm not sure if we can. I don't know if you can see it.
I can't. It's small.
Can you see that?
It's tiny.
Yeah, I thought I would try pinning it to see if that would help.
Oh, right. Oh, what, in messages?
No, like, can you not see my screen?
I can see. No, I can't see your screen.
Why not? Can anybody
else
see
you? I can see you, but not a screen share.
I'm not sharing my screen. I'm just I pinned the person so that they could. Let me see if you can see that.
It's tiny. I'm on a laptop, but it's not.
Nope. It's all right. That's not it.
Something else.
That's something else. I've clicked on this, but
it's my video. You see, it's my picture.
Oh.
Yeah. We anyway. I can't. I
can't see it. I can't see the details. Okay. I wish I could.
I know. I was trying to make it bigger, but I can't.
No problem. I just thought I'd try.
I'd like to do I'd like to do a series. I'd like to do a series of these and maybe sort of go through each planet and luminary, and so people have to join me.
So there's
another time we'll come and have a reading, and we can.
So here's a really quick question, I think, from Lori P.
You.
No, Lori P in the chat. What is the difference between Vedic and sidereal astrology? I'm probably saying that wrong, but I say sidereal.
I think Vedic and sidereal are similar. I don't know. There's a lot of different branches and ways of carving astrology up. I use the tropical zodiac, and the Vedic use the sidereal zodiac. So the tropical zodiac splits the 360 degrees equally between the 12 signs, whereas the sidereal looks more at the literally where the constellations are, and where and they're not in this sort of exact 12, which makes sense. You then get some signs really dominating the sky because of the way that the star constellations have moved, and for some reason this tropical zodiac, where it's split into these 12 portions, seems to work.
Well, there's a lot. To be honest, there's a lot to know about astrology.
And when you're understanding it as an intuitive art, things could be mapped slightly differently, but you could get the same messages. Yeah. So broadly, yeah. I think
So any last words of wisdom for us, other than, my goodness, take the courses so that you get a better understanding of
take the courses and have the reading, because they're just the two sort of sides of the same coin.
Yeah. And so the reading, because it's now December, would it help us to plan for next year, for example?
Can do. I mean, you've got to be a little bit careful planning with astrology, because there's so many things interacting with each other. So I would never say this is definitely the perfect day to do this kind of thing, but you can yeah, it can help with planning.
Yeah,
you would often find that the plans, if you are in flow, the plans will be in line with the stars anyway, if you're trying to force something. But yeah, I'll say that about it. I've dabbled with electional astrology, is that the branch of astrology that tells you that tries to give you specific dates for doing things. You can do, but there's always harmony and there's always challenges pretty much every day, so it's hard to say which is going to dominate.
Okay, good to know.
But there's so broadly much to know. There is
so definitely,
if you want to
if you would like to, definitely take the 2 courses for $97 self-paced, or do the 90-minute in-depth astrology reading with Laura, or do all 3. And then that way it's a wonderful way to start your journey into astrology, is by taking the courses. Or deepen or
consolidate, really, as well. The courses, having your...
Good. I always learn something new every time you come on and talk about astrology, because it's like my mind, and I say this every time, it's like
you struggle.
I struggle with it.
That's one of the things. One of the things that
inspired.
That's one of the things that inspired me to sort of do this and try and make it foundational and try and sort of give people.
And I always thought it was because I was Pisces, but so are you.
Sorry.
Right? I always thought it was because I was Pisces, but so are you. You're Pisces as well. So it's not necessarily because I'm Pisces. It's just because it's like there's just I guess there's so many different pieces, and I guess I'm trying to just get a handle on where to begin. And I guess your course, the 2 courses, are a great place to start.
Yeah, you have to begin at the beginning. It's hard to dive in, and you just wanted to know it all straight away. It's not really astrology, unfortunately. I mean, you can get a reading, but I recommend both, because it's nice to hear someone else's interpretation, and it's nice to understand. And it is a commitment, and astrology is not for everyone. But like I say, you can take it self-paced. You don't have to understand it all. You can take the rest of your life to just sort of pick up pieces and then see where that fits. Where that then shows up in your life, and then make the connections and have the understanding that way, rather than sort of trying to learn it sort of textbook style.
And so there's just, and I guess I do try to learn a textbook style, and I can't. So maybe I'm more, because I'm more
Aquarius likes to sort of study.
I do like to study, as everybody knows. It's like I have exams coming up, finals, and it's like so it's like I do like to study, but again, it has to be in a format that I can get, so.
I mean, some people do learn astrology through textbooks, but for me, I was guided early on that I was to learn astrology by tracking, and I was allowed to really, I had different teachers teaching me the basics and tuning into what people were saying, but I really came to the point where I was guided that astrology needed to be my teacher. So it was learning, tracking, and then experiencing how those energies showed up. So I have this very visceral, lived understanding of the energies. And I find it odd sometimes when I hear astrologers talking and it sounds like they're regurgitating a textbook rather than it being something that they understand. But that's what Pisces is, this visceral sort of feeling, processing. Mercury, I think you have Mercury in Pisces as well. So
Sarah, just this is the last little comment, because then I know we have to go, but Sarah says, you told me I was going to get angry in October, and then the war started.
Oh God, did I? Sorry. I mean, it must have been something to do with Mars.
So that was it was in her chart, because I remember you reading her chart, and
Oh gosh.
So the chart was accurate. I would say, right?
Yeah. I mean, then there's a specific health thing. I mean, it's hard to say like broadly where and when and why, like health things. That's a whole nother branch of astrology as well, medical astrology. But sometimes it's more the emotions and the energies around how things are feeling or how things have come up. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Sarah, I'm just reading what you just wrote in chat.
Sorry to hear that. That's tough.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Wow. All right, we'll have to talk next week. But sending you blessings, okay?
Yeah.
The angry things just validated believing in astrology. Right? Yeah. Good. And hopefully, Manisha, that helped you as well today. The reading or it was a mini reading kind of thing, but yeah. So there's a lot of information in astrology, in the courses, in the readings that you can definitely take advantage of. So please do work with Laura.
I'd listen to the replay as well, because
oh yeah, definitely. There's so much information and wisdom for sure.
You might want to sort of dip back into it even like a month or two later, and when you've sort of taken on board some of it, and then you're ready for the next layer, because you won't have taken in all of it because it was quite dense.
Yes, and so the replay will be out a little bit later today, so please do look out for that. All right. Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Laura.
Welcome. Thank you.
I did learn something new.
Good for me.
And do I remember what it was? It was about the nurturing part, part of the moon.
That's it. You'll take as the days and weeks go on, you'll take what you were supposed to take from it. And
exactly.
Hopefully that's made you feel less overwhelmed by astrology as well, Laura. I don't know.
Yeah. We can now. I'll want to take a look and see what my son and daughter's moon sign is, and then how I can nurture them based on that. Son, daughter, the dog, the husband.
People do the astrology of their pets. It's can be really profound as well.
Absolutely. Wonderful. So thank you so much, everybody, also for your questions and your comments and your feedback. They were all very helpful and, brought out more of the information that we wanted to share and that Laura wanted to share with all of you. So thank you. And so until next time, we will be back next week. We have like a full slate of shows, I think Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be busy. So stay tuned for all of that next week. So until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. I'm going to be busy this weekend. It's my last weekend of my shamanism class, the Angel Fire training class with Pete. It's the last module, 2 years of that training. So there's a lot going on. But thank you so much, everyone. And until next time, like I said, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, especially if you're out there shopping and stuff. I don't have time, but stay safe and be at peace the best you can. Harmony, remember harmony, balance, ease. The new moon is coming up in a few days, so look out for that as well. Okay. Thank you so much, Laura.
Welcome. Thanks very much for having me.
All right, everyone. Bye for now. Much love and blessings. Bye.
Bye.